So we'll see. I like Isha, especially Saturday and Sundays, because we have the kids classes, and then we back to back with them. And I had a class online, so they work me on the weekends. So that little hour was my little break time. So we'll see, inshallah. May Allah bless you all, ya ikhwan. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Walhamdulillahi alladhi la ilaha illa hu. على ما من به علينا من النعم الكثيرة الظاهرة والباطنة وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله صلوات الله وسلامه عليه أما بعد. By the name of Allah, the most merciful and the most compassionate. All praise belongs to Allah, the one that there's none that has the right to be worshipped except Him. The one that there's none that has the right to be worshipped except Him, who has bestowed upon us blessings that are in abundance, those blessings that are outward and inward. And I bear witness that none has the right to be worshipped except Allah, and that Muhammad is the messenger of Allah, alayhi salatu wassalam. May the peace and salutations of Allah be upon him and his family and all those who follow upon his guidance into the establishment of the last day. To proceed, إخوان, فنرحب بكم جميعا إلى هذه السلسلة العلمية. So we welcome each and every one of you to this series of classes مع العائلة, for our family class في علم الفقه, in the science of Al-Fiqh, and the science of Al-Fiqh, مع الإمام الشيخ السعدي أو السعدي رحمه الله تعالى, as we're reading from one of the works of the noble Imam Al-Sa'di, or you can say Al-Sa'di bil-Kasra. May Allah have mercy upon him. في كتابه منهاج Saalikeen, in his book The Methodology of the Traveler. طيب أين وصلنا يا إخوان? Where did we arrive?
We stopped at the hadith.
We were explaining the benefits of the hadith.
لا توضأ أحدكم فليمسح فيه فيمسح عليهما وليصلي فيهما ولا يخلعهما إن شهد منهما.
One more time, Sheikh.
إذا توضأ أحدكم ولبس خفيه فليمسح عليهما وليصلي فيهما ولا يخلعهما إن شاء إلا منهما.
جميل.
We were in the chapter في المسح على الخفين.
Yeah, we finished. We are about to start.
We're about to start the wudu.
Yeah,
نواقض الوضوء.
وضوء.
Where's the hadith?
وضوء.
إذا مسح أحدكم
إذا توضأ أحدكم.
جميلة. عند الإمام الدارقطني. جميلة. طيب بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. وقال سعدي رحمه الله تعالى, السعدي he says, may Allah have mercy upon him, من حديث أنس بن مالك مرفوعا, from the hadith of Anas, may Allah be pleased with him, that has been attributed to the Messenger عليه الصلاة والسلام, إذا توضأ أحدكم ولبس خفيه فليمسح عليهما وليصلي فيهما ولا يخلعهما إن شاء إلا من جنابة. رواه الحاكم وصححه الحاكم ورواه الدارقطني والبيهقي وغيرهم رحمهم الله تعالى. The Messenger of Allah, he mentions, if one of you makes purification with water, meaning makes wudu, and he wears his two socks, his leather socks, فَلْيَمْسَحْ عَلَيْهِمَا, then let him wipe over them, and then let him pray in them, and do not let him take them off, insha'a, if he wills, except if he's in the state of janaba, the major impurity. وهذا الحديث صحيح, this hadith is authentic, وهو عند الإمام الحاكم, it's collected by the Imam Al-Hakim, also Imam Al-Darqutni, and Imam Al-Bayhaqi. ماذا نستفيد من هذا الحديث؟ لعلنا ذكرنا شيئا قبله. I think we mentioned some benefits of this hadith before. تفضل شيخ. نعم تفضل. الأولى first benefit.
فضل لبس الخف.
Now the first benefit يا إخوان فضل لبس الخفين. The virtues of wearing the two leather socks.
يستحب
Second benefit.
يستحب للعبد لبس
يستحق للعبد.
لبس الخفين أن يمسح عليهما.
أحسنت. Now the second benefit is recommended. Recommended ليس واجبا, not obligatory. إذا يلبس الخفين العبد المسلم, the Muslim is wearing the two leather socks. في حال وضوئه, when he's making wudu, أولى له أن يمسح كما قال النبي. The man or woman is wearing the khuf. When they make the wudu and they get to the feet, it's better to wipe over them. It's not obligatory, لكن الأولى. طيب سؤال الأول, question number 1. أنت ترى شخصا متوضئا. You see someone making wudu. ولابس الخفين. He's wearing his two leather socks. يريد أن ينزع عنهما. هل يجوز لك أن تنصحه بالمسح أو نتركه? The man is making wudu. You see him, he takes off his socks, his leather socks. Is it allowed for you to recommend him to wipe over them, or you just leave them?
It depends.
Depends, huh?
If he had if he had put them on while he had.
You don't know. You don't know his condition.
It's better for him to wipe over it.
Is it allowed for you to advise him?
Yeah, it's allowed.
No, you don't.
Not obligatory.
It's not.
Not obligatory.
It's not obligatory to give advice.
It's allowed.
Would it be recommended to give advice?
Yeah. Since it's better.
Huh? Hey, accent. Because that situation is better. ربما لا يعلم ذلك. Perhaps he doesn't know what you know. أحيانا المسلم يظن يجب عليه أن يغسل على القدمين. Some of the Muslims believe, they don't know. They think, I have to take these socks off. So,
You know, a lot of times, I used to think that it's better to just wash your feet because it's harder.
yeah, some people.
Maybe there's more striking.
Yeah, sometimes you'll be amazed يا إخوان. The فائدة أنت حفظتها مثلا لا تكون محفوظة عند غيرك. Perhaps the benefit you learn, this one doesn't know that benefit. That happens. For example, some of the reciters, they say, Allahu Akbar, A'udhu Billah, بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم جهريا. وهذا جائز لمن صح حديث أبي هريرة. طيب, some of the great Imams, when they recite, they lead the salah, they say Allahu Akbar, they make the isti'adah. When they get to the basmala, they say it out loud. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. That's allowed for those that say that the statement of Abu Hurairah is authentic. It is authentic. At any rate, he attributes it to the Prophet of Allah. Other scholars say the hadith of Anas is better. What did Anas say?
Maybe say it out loud.
قال صليت خلف النبي وأبي بكر وعمر وعثمان. وفي بعض الروايات عن علي وقال لم يسمع من أحد منهم يقول بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم جهرا. وهذا قوي. Anas ibn Malik says, I prayed behind the Prophet and Abu Bakr and Umar and Uthman, and in some reports and Ali, and I never heard any one of them, not one of them, say Bismillah out loud. وحديث أنس في الصحيح أي البخاري ومسلم. Also Anas's hadith is collected by Bukhari and Muslim. وماذا قال أبو هريرة? What did Abu Hurairah say? أما الناس وقرأ البسملة جهريا وقال هكذا سمعت من النبي أو كما قال رضي الله عنه. Abu Hurairah one time led the tabi'un in prayer and he recited the Bismillah out loud. And he said, this is how the Prophet of Allah did it. طيب, at any rate, قال بعض العلماء هذا موقوف على أبي هريرة هذا الفعل وهذا الصحيح. The action of Abu Hurairah goes back to him. He did it, and then he said, I heard the Prophet of Allah. This is what the Prophet of Allah used to do. So how do you harmonize between both narrations? Some scholars say هذا خطأ من أبي هريرة. Some scholars say Abu Hurairah was mistaken here. قال بعضهم لا يجمع. We can join between both of them. ربما أنس فعله النبي مرة وأبو هريرة كان موجودا وأنس ما كان موجودا. Some scholars say there's another way to harmonize. Maybe the one time the Prophet did it, Anas wasn't there. And that's the time the Prophet of Allah did it, and Abu Hurairah witnessed it.
Is the hadith of Abu Hurairah authentic?
It's authentic. Some scholars say it's Hassan, but it's authentic. The strongest narration what Anas did. Number one is in the Bukhari and Muslim. Number two, look what he mentioned. I prayed behind the Prophet, and Abu Bakr, and Umar, and Uthman. And in some narrations, Ali. نستفيد من هذا في نظر أنس ما فعله النبي وفي نظر أنس وما فعله أبو بكر وفي نظر أنس ما فعله عمر وفي نظر أنس ما فعله عثمان. هذا قوي جدا. In Anas' estimation, what do we get from that? According to Anas, the Prophet didn't do that. Not one time. In the decade he prayed with the Prophet. Not once.
So, I know some of that they take the opinion that you're supposed to say Bismillah aloud. So did those shuyukh, did the hadith of Anas not reach them?
ربما perhaps عندنا عذر إسلامي لجميع المسلمين خاصة العلماء خاصة طلبة العلم. As Muslims, we make excuses for other Muslims. That's our religion. We make excuses for the Muslims. That's our religion. Especially the scholars. And especially the students of knowledge. فنقول عن هذا السؤال نعم ربما وهذا يحتمل. So for the likes of those great scholars there, our Imams of Islam, they have that position. We say yes, perhaps. It looks like those narrations didn't reach them. It looks like. Ibn Taymiyyah has a book called Rafi' al-A'lam and A'immat al-Islam. He has a book called Removing when the Imams made mistakes or the likes, making excuses for them. Rafi' al-A'lam and A'immat al-Islam. When those Imams take a position, you remove the doubt from them. You make excuses for them. And he says, one of the greatest reasons that scholars may differ on positions is هذا النص ما بلغ هذا الإمام وهذا صحيح. That when the scholars take this position or that position, you say perhaps their narration didn't reach them. Perhaps it didn't reach them. عندنا الآن جوجل وعندنا الآن مكتبة شاملة وعندنا الآن حديث كولكشن وعندنا الآن ضرر وعندنا الآن كل هذه المواقع ما كانت موجودة في عهد السلف. Now we got ways to do research faster. Somebody may say, why you want to get these books? We got Sheikh Google. Why you want to get these books, ya akhi? We got Sheikh Darar. We got hadith collections. We got all these apps. It's at our disposal. You ask somebody look up something, in 20 seconds he has it. Alhamdulillah. At any rate, that still can make you lazy. How can something fast make you lazy? At any rate, the Imams of the past didn't have that. هذا الحديث كان عند أحمد ما كان عند مالك رحمهم الله. This narration that Ahmed knew, perhaps Imam Malik, it didn't reach him. After time comes in tadarruju al-azmina, when the time progresses, the different ways to do research. Now, we have some questions we pose to our Sheikh in Yemen by way of WhatsApp. أنا في أمريكا والشيخ في اليمن. كيف اجتمعنا معه؟ اتصلنا به عبر الواتساب. So some of the questions we have, we pose to our Sheikh in Yemen. We're in America. We ask these questions on WhatsApp. Sitting in America. The Sheikh is in the middle of a war, teaching the people Quran and Sunnah. In a war. At any rate, he answered our questions from WhatsApp. The point is, technology has made progression. So they didn't have that back then. في عهد السلف البخاري كان يمشي بدون شيء في جيبه بدون مال الوضوء بدون مال مشيا ليحصل على حديث واحد. فعندنا الآن سيارات والحافلات وقطارات والحمد لله. In the time of Bukhari, he used to walk from country to country. Walking. I challenge any one of you to walk from one country to another country. Forget the country. From a state to state. Forget the state. City to city. Forget the city. Neighborhood to neighborhood. I challenge one of you right now, walk from here to Masjid IGKC. Walk there. Let's go there and let's pray Isha there. Let's walk. Let's go. Nobody's going to go, ya akhi. Omar's going to say, hey, لا عندي سيارة أنا أمشي بالسيارة. Omar's going to say, I got a car, ya ikhwan. I'm not doing that. He's going to get in his car. Where's Umar go? Pew. He's on the highway. He used to walk with nothing in his pockets. I've never walked from one country to another country. I've never walked. I walked from one state to one state before. It's close, from PA to Jersey. It's not that far. If you were in West Philly, PA, depends on where you are. It's just a bridge there. So that's a little easier. So I walked from state to state before and city to city, just over the bridge. I used to jog the one bridge in the morning. So I'll go from Philly to Pennsylvania, now I'm in Jersey. 20 minutes later, I'm in Jersey. That's different. But walking, ya ikhwan, to get a hadith. Sheikh Mustafa's teaching, mashallah, may Allah preserve him. We say, let's walk there and benefit from him. That's what Bukhari used to do. Nowadays, hey, ya Sheikh, we got a question. Mashallah, shukran. Technology is different. So yes, it's from Islam to make excuses. أقرب الناس لله أكثر عذر عنده لأخيه أو لأخته. The more religious you are, the more you fear Allah, the more excuses you're going to make for your brothers and sisters. هذا أخطأ مثلا في الدرس. Our beloved brother made a mistake in the class. نقول كان مريضا. We say perhaps he was sick. كان متعبا. He just got off work, yeah. What you expect? He was tired. He just made a mistake. Perhaps the hadith reached him. It was weak. The hadith you have is authentic. Alhamdulillah. So that's a good question. Umar, may Allah bless you. Many times we forget to make excuses. نرى شخصا مثلا بدون خمار نتكلم عنه لا الأولى أن نعرض له العذر هذا السنة. Now we see someone doing wrong. First thing we do is talk about him. Hey man, that brother's still on crack. I thought he stopped being on crack. He's still smoking that cigarette. Man, oh man. The Muslim is going to make excuses. Perhaps he is smoking, he needed for the medical. His doctor prescribed that. That's for his lungs. Make excuses. Perhaps it wasn't weed at all. It wasn't even a cigarette. I didn't have my glasses on. That wasn't even Muhammad. I thought it was Muhammad. That's Muhammad's brother. That wasn't Muhammad. That's the Muslim. No, may Allah make it easy. We forget making excuses for each other. We like to hear harm and evil, and that's not from the Sunnah of the Prophet. What was our third benefit of the hadith? Tfadal, Sheikh.
If we go back to the khuf example, so if the person did not make the khuf before putting on the khuf, I advise them to wipe over the khuf.
No.
This will look better.
It's like you say, no, he took your advice, but taking your advice, he'll be wrong. So it depends. You don't know his situation. You don't say to him, وَهَذَا يَدُلُّ عَلَى أَهَمِيَّةِ الْحِكْمَةِ وَالْبَصِيرَةِ وَالْعِلْمِ, and this shows the importance of having wisdom and knowledge and certainty. You don't know how he put the socks on. So you can't say what? I don't know how he put them on.
So you can't say
hey, I can't say, hey, ya akhi, it's better to wipe over them. Now, أنا أخطأت. Now I'm wrong. I can say, مثلا, أولى لك إذا لبستهما على طهارة. And أبين, I clarify. I say, it's better if you put them on while you're in a state of purification. Now, Ahmed, it's better that you wipe. Ahmed is making wudu. I don't know how you put them on. I say, ya akhi, no, it's better that you wipe. Now I'm wrong in the sight of Allah.
Couldn't you tell him, if you remember when you put them on, if you had wudu, then you could...
Yeah, of course. You clarify. You teach. But sometimes every teacher is not saying what's right. Somebody asks, hey, what do you say about dhikr beads? He says, hey, if you want to use them, use them. Many people, you'll be amazed. My sheikh said that. My imam said that. My husband said that. My wife said that. My madhab says that. You say, نعم. أحب كلهم. I love all of them. كلهم أخطأوا. All of them was wrong. What's my dalil? Kitab Allah wa Sunnah Nabi alayhi salatu wasalam.
Is there a specific way that the Prophet used to make dhikr?
Make dhikr? Hey, bil aidi. With his hands. فقال بعض العلماء المسابح فيها تفصيل. The issues of the beads, there's some details. العلماء يختلفون في حكمها إلى 3 أقوال أو إلى قولين. The scholars of Islam, they mention regarding the dhikr beads. Whatever you say, that's not my point, ya ikhwan. It's not our Islam, alhamdulillah. We're just telling you what the scholars say. They divide using the dhikr beads into 3 positions or 2 positions. Number 1, القول الأول وهذا أكثر أقوال. And this one is held by most of the scholars. المسابيح بدعة واستخدامها بدعة. First opinion, using the dhikr beads is an innovation. اجتنابها واجب. And not using them is obligatory. That's the first opinion. والقول الثاني ماذا لا تسمى بدعة لكنها مخالفة للسنة. Second opinion, it's not an innovation, but it contradicts. It's not an innovation, but it opposes the sunnah. But it didn't reach the level of innovation. It has an origin. Not the dhikr beads, using something to count. أنا الآن في الحلقة. I'm in a lesson. واستخدم هاتفي لأعد عدد الذكر. I'm in the lesson. I want to use my counter on my phone to count how many times I say astaghfirullah. So I say astaghfirullah 1, astaghfirullah 2, astaghfirullah 3. So I get to 100, astaghfirullah. I use my phone to count. It's not a sunnah, but it's allowed. It opposes the sunnah because the Prophet used to use his hands. One narration says his right hand, another narration says his hand. Some scholars say the word that says, the hadith that says right has weakness in it. The most authentic hadith, it says the Prophet used his hand. So for this reason, some scholars say if you use your left, no problem. We'll say that for another night. طيب, I use my phone to count. I use my notebook to count. 25, La ilaha illallah Muhammad Rasulullah. 26, Ashhadu an la ilaha ashhadu anna Muhammad Rasulullah. 27, every time I say it, I count. I'm using the means of the dhikr beads by keeping track. Right? So some scholars say it has an origin. There was one woman in the time of the Messenger of Allah, after the Fajr prayer, خرج النبي عليه الصلاة والسلام وكانت جالسة وكانت تذكر ربها سبحانه وتعالى بالأحجار أو بالماذا الأحجار أو شيئا صغيرا. The Prophet left out, the sister was still sitting there, and she was remembering Allah using pebbles or small stones. La ilaha illallah 1, astaghfirullah 2, la hawla wa la quwwata billah 3, using rocks to count. The Prophet رجع وما أنكر عليها من فعل لا أعطاها شيئا آخر أحسن من ذلك. The Prophet came back, he didn't deny what she was doing, but he gave her something else better to do. He said, if you were to say this and this and this and this, would it suffice you for the amount that you just did that? But he didn't say what she was using to count was wrong. So some scholars say the dhikr beads is mukhalifatun lis-sunnah. It opposes the sunnah. والقول الثالث وهو أقل قول لا بأس بها. And the third opinion is the lesser of the 3, is okay to do. For those that say it's a bid'ah, لأن النبي ما فعله, because the Prophet didn't do it. For those that say it contradicts the sunnah, but it's not a bid'ah, because counting with something else has an origin. That hadith with the woman used the rocks. At any rate, أتى بقول شيخ مقبل ونقول أن الشيء كان يبدعه، ثم أتى بقول الشيخ فوزان ويقول أن الشيخ يقول أنها مخالفة للسنة. أنت أتى بشيخ مقبل ومحمد أتى بشيخ فوزان. لا بأس. So now I say Sheikh Muqbil said about it, may Allah have mercy upon him, one of the greatest scholars of Yemen, it's a bid'ah. Then I come back and say Sheikh Fawzan, one of the biggest scholars of the Mamlaka right now, he says it opposes the sunnah, but it's not a bid'ah. Sheikh Myra goes with Sheikh Muqbil's opinion, Omar goes with Sheikh Fawzan's opinion. No problem. At any rate, it appears that the strongest opinion is that it's not a bid'ah, but it has an origin, but it's better not to do. Someone is reading Quran on their phone, and someone else is reading the Quran from the Mus'haf. It's allowed to read the copy of the PDF on your phone. It's better to read it from the Quran. No problem. So some of these issues, ya ikhwan, you're going to see, you can advise someone what is better. You can say what's better. Our beloved brother K, he didn't pray 2 raka'ah. We say it's better to get up and pray. He says, I don't feel like getting up and pray. It's okay, get up and stand up. And don't sit until it's time to pray. You can give advice, but you can't compel. La ikraha fi din. There's no compulsion in the religion, as Allah Ta'ala says. Sometimes the children's class, these kids are bad. I love these kids, but they're bad kids. And I'm still learning how to make them calm down easier. I don't want to always go get the Mu'allim Fasih and Mu'allim Zainab and Siham and Mu'allim Hassan and Myra and Zayd. Sometimes that makes me look soft. I got, hey, ya Sheikh, come to my class and walk in. I don't want to do that every week, so I'm still learning how to calm the kids down. Alhamdulillah. And some days it's going to be, they're kids, some days are going to be good and some days are going to be bad. I'm learning who the leaders. When Omar gets going, Omar, he's the leader. They follow Omar. They follow Omar. When Omar acts up, the whole class is going to act up. Also, twin. Twin is the leader on the low, also. When twin is good, the class is good. When twin is bad, the class is bad. Alhamdulillah. May Allah make it easy. Let's continue, ikhwan. What was our third benefit of the hadith? We mentioned 3, صح?
يستحب للعبد أن يصلي فيهما. It's recommended for the servant to pray with his leather socks.
أحسنت. أحيانا ولعل الصوماليون جهلوا عن هذه السنة أو ربما أكثرهم جهلوا عن هذا والله أعلم. Perhaps our Somalian brothers and sisters don't know this sunnah. We see from our Shaykh Abdul Wahab, and there was another Shaykh. He, the little Shaykh, may Allah reward him, he also prays in the sunnah. He has his khufs. Shaykh Abdul Wahab has his wears his khufs a lot. That's a sunnah, ya ikhwan. You get a reward for dressing like the Prophet. Allahu Akbar. You get a reward for letting you have facial hair, just let it grow.
Yep, let it grow.
You get a reward. In the salah, نرفع أيدينا متبعا لسنة النبي. عندنا أجر. Allahu Akbar. Rahmatullah. The mercy of Allah. In the prayer, the man is standing there. Umar goes down, Allahu Akbar. Muhammad raises his hands. They're raising the hands, you get a reward. If he intends to follow the sunnah. Following the sunnah, letting your facial hair grow, wearing the khuf, a leather sock. I don't think they look nice. They don't look nice. They give a lot of da'wah. Every time I'm at the stores, hey man, why you got them leather socks? He said, come on, step out of line. I'm Muslim, alhamdulillah. This is how the Prophet used to dress. You know, we worship at the masjid there. You're welcome to come. Hey, let me get your address, mashallah. I never seen one of them come yet. But maybe that's da'wah, for example. Alhamdulillah. So let's continue, ikhwan. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. قال سعدي رحمه الله وصفة المسح الخفين. As Sa'di continues, he says, may Allah have mercy upon him. And the description وصفة مسح الخفين, the description of wiping over the khufs. How do you wipe over the khufs? He says, أن يمسح أكثر ظاهرهما. How do you wipe, you brothers on the sunnah? May Allah make us all on the sunnah who wear your khufs. وَلَوْ مَرَّةً وَحِيدَةً. Even if you just wear them once. Wear them one time. Hold on.
What is khufs?
10 push-ups after class. May Allah bless you. What's the khufs, ya ikhwan? Anyone has khufs on today? Your socks, but they're out of leather. And they cover your whole foot.
What did I do?
Huh?
What did I do?
No, you're okay. Because I thought you knew the answer.
Oh, I didn't.
You're from Sudan, so?
Yeah.
You know khufs. They wear khufs in Sudan, mashallah. You know khufs. You just forgot. We all forget, ya ikhwan. In America, well, last time you been back home? Well, how long?
Since I was born.
That's why you forgot about the khuf. But the khuf is the leather sock that covers your whole foot. The leather socks that covers your whole foot. So just wearing them, they're not stylish. Your feet is going to sweat. Your feet may stink. What else? He may laugh at you. Some Muslim may laugh at you. I remember we prayed at one masjid, a Pakistani masjid, and I wore them. And the baby kid, I think I was on Jumu'ah one day, and I walked past, and I heard the little boy say, "Hey, Abby, why is he wearing them leather socks?" You'd be amazed. Sometimes, especially in America, we forget, yeah. That's why it's so important to teach the people. قال أن يمسح أكثر ظاهرهما أو ظاهرهما. When you wipe over the khufs, you wipe the most of what's apparent, the upper part, not the bottom. You wipe as much as you are able on the apparent part of the khuf. وَأَمَّا الْجَبِيرَ, and over the ماذا? The imama, but it's wrapped more like a turban. Like the imama, like you may wear like the sardiya, or just having it like this. Here, مثلا, say you have your imama, regular. Here you wouldn't just wipe over the imama. Or you have it wrapped the African way, or the Sardian way. Here you just wouldn't wipe over your imama. The maqsood bil jabira, the intent of the jabira, and when you have it wrapped, like a turban style, or the Yemeni way where it's wrapped up, where it's hard to take it off, and they make wudu and put it back. So it's the imama, but not when you have it wrapped. If it's like this, you wouldn't qualify to just wipe over the imama. Because it's easy to just take it off, make your wudu, put it back. So you have it the African way, or the new African way. Sheikh Muhammad. You see the brother, hey, I learned this as sunnah. He says, that's a mistake, ya ikhwan. Or there's a new African way now, where they wear it like this. It's a lot, ya ikhwan. So it's an imama, but it's wrapped a certain way. Or the turban way, if you have it wrapped. You know turban, ya ikhwan. You have it wrapped, bismillah. And it's wrapped all around. Now, you can just wipe. That's different. But if it's the Saudi way, or the African way, or the Yemen way, you wouldn't qualify to wipe over it. Wallahu a'lam. The intent of al-masah al-jabira, when it's tied up, turban way, and then you wipe. But when it's just like this, it's easy to take it off. Now there's two positions here, ikhwan. You have the white part of your forehead also. That's one opinion. The second opinion is that you just wipe over the hair covering itself in place of your forehead. That's a good question. Allahu A'lam, do you still do your ears? It appears you do. I don't know any adillah that says the Prophet joined between both. Allahu A'lam. No. You brothers have any adillah for that? That the Prophet made the jam'a'? That he made the masah over the jabira and did the ears? Allahu A'lam. The head covering usually covers your ears too. But if you have it wrapped a certain way and it doesn't cover your ears, I would have to say Allahu A'lam. I don't have any proof to support that. And that increases all the knowledge.
As for the Kufi, do you do the same?
The Kufi is different. There's no proof. The Kufi مثل ماذا الحذاء بالنسبة إلى المسح. The Kufi would be like the sneakers or the shoes when you go to wipe. Can you wipe over your shoes? Can you wipe over your boots?
No.
It depends. If your boots are like the khuf, like a nice example would be like some of those Timberland boots, some of those army boots would be a perfect example. Some of those nice Columbia boots, I like those ones with the fur. They're stylish looking. Just expensive, but I like them, ya ikhwan. They come up, cover your whole foot. Alhamdulillah. Some scholars make the qiyas of the khuf, and they say if your shoe is like that khuf, then you can wipe. Nabas.
Didn't they have shoes back then?
They had shoes back then.
The Prophet never mentioned wiping over the shoes.
But total or whatever. So not using them is better. That's the qiyas. Not everyone's qiyas is accepted. No.
Were there shorter hoops like that back then?
That's a good question. Where did they come to? على كل if they were longer or shorter إذا يغطي القدم كاملة يجوز للشخص يستحب للشخص أن يمسح عليهما. No matter if they were longer or taller or shorter, as long as it covers your whole foot, your ankle bone, your whole foot, then it's recommended to wipe over them. If it covers your ankle, some of us see are stylish brothers, mashallah, who have a little, like the kids say, a little swag with them. You know, they have some style. Ahmed, Shu'aib, alhamdulillah. They have the short socks. I don't see the benefit of those short socks yet. I don't know what's the benefit of. They don't even cover your foot. But
there are ones that only cover like the bottom.
Yeah, what's the? I'm ready. No socks yet, Juan. If it doesn't cover my foot, but style changes, yeah, Juan. That's not a style. One brother said, I like your style. You never match. I said, it's not a style. I just grabbed something and I said, Bismillah. He said, no, you always not matching. I like that. I was in the market the other day trying to find some fruit. And maybe I think they were just being nice. The Caucasian guy behind the counter, he said, hey, I like your drip. He said, you're not from here, huh? I like that drip you got. Where I'm from, drip is jewelry. You know, you got on some ice or something, you know. In Kansas City, they call drip your clothes. We say your style, your swag. He said, no. And then he called the lady, hey, look at the guy's drip. And I said, where I'm from, that's jewelry or your watch. Maybe you got a nice watch. Or you have a nice chain or something like that. May Allah forbid, yeah. I think he was just being nice. And may Allah make it easier. Let's continue, يا إخوان. قال بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم باب نواقض الوضوء. Next chapter, the invalidation of wudu, that which invalidates wudu. هذا مهم يا إخوان. You memorizers, احفظوا هذا الباب. Memorize this chapter. الذي يناقض الوضوء أو ينقض الوضوء, that which invalidates one's wudu. نرى كثيرا من المسلمين اليوم لا يعلمون ما ينقض الوضوء وهذا خطأ. Many of the Muslims of today have forgotten, have not memorized that which invalidates our wudu, especially our children. يا إخوان نحتاج إلى هذا في دروس الأولاد. We need the likes of this for our children's classes also. نرى الأولاد كثيرا في ماذا حمامنا لا يعلمون كيف نتوضأ صحيحا. Many of our young boys, many of us, our children, when you watch them make wudu, you'll be amazed. For example, many of them go in there, hey, Bismillah, خلاص. Like, no, but we have to bring that back to our circles of knowledge, يا إخوان, for the men and especially for the children. قال السعدي رحمه الله. السعدي continues. وهي الخارج من السبيلين مطلقا. Number one, first thing that invalidates one's wudu, whatever comes out of the two private parts. الخارج من السبيلين مطلقا. Whatever comes out, whatever it is, if it comes out of your boom boom, your number one and number two, you have to make wudu. He says مطلقا, and this is unrestricted. Whatever it is, الدم, الماء, البول, المني, whatever comes out of the two private parts, البراز, it could be number one, it could be blood, it could be for the men when they have those releases, when you guys get married, and those fluids come forward, or it could be number two, from your butt, your boom boom, whatever comes forward from the two private parts. قال ثاني, number two, الدم الكثير ونحوه. Number two, a lot of blood or the likes. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. A lot of blood. العلماء يختلفون في الدم. The scholars differ regarding blood. قال بعضهم يخرج الدم مطلقا وهذا ليس بالصحيح لكن هذا القول. Some scholars, they say, anytime you bleed, you broke your wudu.
What?
Anytime you bleed, blood comes forward, you broke your wudu. But that's not the correct opinion. Has to be extreme amount of blood. وقال بعضهم لا المقصود بالدم الدم لفرج المرأة وهذا قوي. Another group of scholars, they say, Shawkani has this position, that it's not blood. It's a specific blood. When the woman is on her menses, when the blood comes forth from the menses, this is the blood that's not allowed. And they use when Umar was making the salah and he was wounded and the blood was coming from his body and that did not break his wudu according to him. And that's the strongest opinion. Wallahu alam. Number 2, As-Sa'di says, a lot of blood and the likes.
What's the likes?
For example, say you have some fluids.
Like pus?
Could be pus, could be from a womb. Any sa'il, anything that can flow and that can come from your body. Say you have a womb, blood, some pus, or any fluid that can come from your body. No.
They draw the blood from the body for the doctor for the test.
For those that say any blood, that could invalidate wudu, but that's coming from like a procedure, so that'll be different.
Is he going on Hanbali madhab?
If they draw the
Sa'di is Hanbali. No, he follows the Hanbali madhab a lot of times.
Hanafi.
Huh?
Hanafi.
We gotta do some Hanafi books also, yeah, Khwan. Sometimes I used to do that in Jersey. Our Sheikh Yahya and Sheikh Abdul Rahman, when he was alive, rahimahullah, they were kind of against each other, if I can say that. What I used to try to do was be wise. When I saw communities dividing over these two scholars, I would come and I would translate from Sheikh Yahya one day, and I would come and read from Sheikh Abdul Rahman the next day, to show the people that's not Islam, ya ikhwan. You know, you can benefit from someone, although he doesn't agree with him, and he still can be tremendous. We take Abu Hanifa's book, and we do some benefits from the Hanafi madhab, and then we come the next month and do a book from Imam Malik. And then the next month we do a book from Imam Shafi. And then the next month, these great Imams are together, ya ikhwan. They may differ on some points. Imam Malik didn't agree with Abu Hanifa and everything. Shafi didn't agree with Imam Malik and everything. Ahmed didn't agree with Shafi and everything. Alhamdulillah.
Is there proof for the blood?
For the blood, no, there's some proofs for the blood, ya ikhwan. The Sheikh mentions one hadith that he uses, وقوله رحمه الله تعالى الخارج من البدن إما أن يكون نجسا وإما أن يكون طاهرا. He says regarding those things where he says the blood that's a lot. He says إذا كان خارج من البدن نجسا كالدم, if the thing that comes from the body is impure like blood, فإنه ناقض, then this invalidates one's wudu. وذلك لأنه خارج مستقذر, because blood is impure, it's filthy. ولأنه ورد فيه حديث النبي عليه الصلاة والسلام, as it has come from the hadith the Messenger عليه الصلاة والسلام. وهذا الحديث عند الإمام أبي داود وغيره. He says إذا أحدث أحدكم في الصلاة فليمسك بأنفه ثم ليخرج الحديث. He says, but this hadith is general, doesn't mention the blood, it's talking about breaking your wudu in general. If one of you ahdatha, now the word ahdatha can mean you broke your wudu, generally. Ahdatha can also mean that you passed wind. Al-gharab. وهذا أقرب معنى, and that's the closest of the two. Can also mean anything you did. I did number 1, I ahdathtu. I did number 2, ahdathtu. I went to sleep, ahdathtu. Anytime you broke your wudu, you can call it ahdatha. But it comes in the hadith Abi Hurairah, the word ahdatha, and it means to pass wind. It means to pass wind. You're praying and someone says, and now he just ahdatha wudu'ah. He just broke his wudu. He passed wind. So it says, if one of you passes wind in the prayer, فَلْيَمْسِكْ بِأَنْفِهِ, then let him hold his nose. So this is another proof, talking about the wind. ثُمَّ لَيَخْرُجْ, and then he should leave. This hadith is general about the blood. It doesn't really mention, but there's another narration, inshallah, we're going to get to, inshallah ta'ala, about the blood. The scholars, they differ, ya ikhwan, on the blood. Some of them say blood is pure, some say it's not pure. He says, فَدَلَّ عَلَىٰ أَنَّ مَنْ رَعَفَ فِي الصَّلَاةِ فَإِنَّهُ يَقْطَعُ الصَّلَاةِ. So this is a proof that anyone who passes when in the prayer, that he just broke his salah. So it doesn't mention a proof here specifically about the blood. There's one that's going to come also, inshallah ta'ala. That's about the number one, number two. طيب ولكن من قاتل وبول ونوم. No, number one, number two, and sleep. طيب we'll check inshallah, Sheikh. طيب number three. What's number two, ya ikhwan? A lot of blood.
How much is?
Father Sheikh Myra.
Would vomit be an example of the like?
It could be if there wasn't any specific proof. There are some that say vomiting does break your wudu. However, there's some narration that the Prophet made. He made the vomit and he didn't make a new wudu. So say there was no proof that showed that this thing is not an exception, then that would be a perfect example. However, there's narration that the Prophet spit up and he didn't make a new wudu. No. Allah Ta'ala knows best. It appears the likes would be like fluids. Spit up is more whatever you ate comes up. You didn't invalidate your wudu here. But say, for example,
Your ear from some discharge of that?
discharge could be a lot, but it had to be a lot. It had to be a lot, yeah. That's why it says kathir. What's the thing when you go to the when they give you the IV? Huh? So, yeah. What's the thing when you go to them? I don't know if y'all have them in Kansas City. The plasma. When you get money, when you donate your not your blood, your plasma. Say for example something like that. That would be the perfect example. Your plasma is like I don't know what example you want. It's not your blood, but it. How would you break down plasma? Plasma is a fluid inside of your body. Your body is in need of it. It's not your blood, but it helps the circulation of the blood throughout your body. Without the plasma, we'd be in a lot of trouble. You need plasma in your body. It helps the circulation of the blood. So there's shops or a place you can go. They take your blood, and then from the blood they take your plasma and then put the blood back, and they can sell the plasma. For example, that would be a good example. No. Not just sweat, something like that. You need some specific proofs. Tayyib. He says number, Father Sheikh Umar.
How much is a lot of blood?
Now the scholars are going to differ, ya ikhwan. For example, al-akthari عند الشخص مختلف من الكثير عند شخص آخر. What this scholar may deem to be a lot, this other scholar may not be deemed to be a lot. So that's going to be relative. That's going to be relative. No. Wallahu a'lam. قال سعدي وزوال العقل. Number three, losing your consciousness. زوال العقل. In any way, زوال العقل, losing your consciousness. بالنوم أو غير النوم, by sleep or other than sleep. الشخص الآن هو يقوم, he's standing. ثم يزول عقله ويسقط على الأرض. أربع دقائق. The man is standing, Allah forbid, and then he just passes out. Sometimes he loses the oxygen to his brain, and he collapses, and he's unconscious for 4 minutes. He has to make a new wudu before he prays. To have your consciousness, زال عنك يحتاج إلى الوضوء أو تحتاج إلى الوضوء. The man or woman lose their consciousness for whatever reason. Could be sleep, lack of oxygen, COVID. I remember when I was sick, I wanted to stand. I didn't fall out, but you just drop back. You don't have no quwwah, no strength. So someone collapses, and he's unconscious for a small portion of time, even 1 minute. He has to make a wudu. He says, بالنوم, with sleep, أو غير النوم, or without sleep. طيب.
What about whenever you're falling asleep, but you don't want to go to sleep, you know? Like let's say you're at work or something, or at school.
You trying to stay up?
Yeah.
You on punishment?
Does your wudu break then?
Did you go to sleep?
Like you're in and out, like you
طيب النوم نومان. There are two types of sleep يا إخوان. النوم الحق ونوم الكذب. النوم الحق ونوم الكاذب. There are two types of sleep. The true sleep and the lying sleep. النوم الحق هو معروف. ذهب عقلنا. The true sleep is known. You were asleep يا أخي. Your mind wasn't there. You were asleep. You doze off. You don't hear nobody no more. You wake up, hey, what time is it? You were asleep. Your mind wasn't there. Then there's the Nawm al-Kadhib. هذا مقدمة النوم. Then the lying sleep, you're not really asleep. That's what it sounds like there. You're on the verge of sleep. That's the nu'as. You're sleepy. You're dozing off. That's what happened in the time of the companions. Some scholars of al-fiqh, from the Hanabila, from the Madhab of Abu Hanifa, they have a position here. They say it depends on how you sleep. If the man is asleep, laying down, no matter if he was the true sleep or the truthful sleep or the lying sleep, he has to make a new wudu. They base it on the hay'ah, on the how are you when you're going to sleep. They say, but if you're sitting up, even if you're asleep, you don't have to make wudu. If the man is like this, and I saw this one time, a brother was knocked out. He was making dua. He was calling them. He was counting them out at bad time. He was counting them sheep. He was counting them goats. He was counting them. He was knocked out. You tap him, ya shaykh, ya akhi, akhi. And then he woke up. And then the brother said, hey, you wasn't laying down. You don't gotta make a wudu. And the brother was like, his soul felt that was wrong. He's like, you sure, ya akhi? I was asleep. I was knocked out. He said, no, the sheikh said. Be careful. The sheikh said, yeah, ikhwan, we love the ulama, but don't make that your Islam. Don't make that Islam. Oh, the Imam said, my madhab said, as many of us. Our sheikh said, my husband said, my father said, my wife said. No, don't make that your Islam. Unless you're married to the Messenger, alayhi salatu wasalam. If you're Aisha Salama, that's different. طيب, don't make that your Islam. We نحترم العلماء ونحب العلماء لكن الدين يبنى على الدليل. We love the scholars. We're never going to talk about a scholar. No one has ever heard me say anything bad about us. You're not going to find it. I don't talk about scholars. That's not my Islam. One brother said, hey, this sheikh refuted that sheikh. Why don't you say that? That's between them. We're Muslims. I'm not getting in that. I'm Muslim. I love the ulama. I love the students of knowledge. You're not going to find me talk about a student of knowledge. That's not my Islam. At any rate, so now we love what the scholars say, but we take what agrees with the Quran and Sunnah. So the brother said, hey, you sure? I was sleeping. He told the brother, hey, I was asleep. But I said, yeah, I don't care if you were asleep. The sheikh said, if you wasn't laying down, you don't need wudu. I said, that's why we have to learn our religion. That's why we have to learn our religion. The correct opinion is, and we'll stop here, it depends on if you were asleep or not. If you were asleep, standing up, sitting, lying down, however you dozed off, if you were asleep, not a doze off, that's not sleep. The man dozed off, they called their adhan, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. He wasn't asleep. Some of the people are home watching the game. He dozes off, the child comes, change the channel. Hey, I was watching that. You asleep, Abby? You asleep? No, he dozed off.
Sometimes during Jummah, I hear people snoring, but they wake up at the sound of their iqamah.
It depends. If he was asleep, he broke his wudu. That's why it's important. Many of us who are asleep in Jumu'ah have no Jumu'ah. The man is knocked out. He's sleeping. Clearly. And then when you wake him, he gets mad at you. You're asleep. No, I wasn't asleep. I was listening. No, that's not how you listen, Yahi. You were sleeping. May Allah bless you. And then he gets up to pray. And then rushes to the front. No, Yahi. You were late, number one, and you're going to fight everybody to get to the front. No, where's your wudu? Where's your humbleness? If you can find a spot, find a spot. If you can't find a spot, you fear Allah and pray in the back. Alhamdulillah. At any rate, it depends on if you were asleep or not. If you were really asleep, you have to make your wudu. If you're not asleep and you just doze off, then your wudu is correct. And Allah Ta'ala knows best. Inshallah. May Allah bless you. الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمد رسول الله أشهد أن محمد رسول الله حي على الصلاة